Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's so good to see you and welcome back. Today I'm going to be making French toast, but I'm going to be following a recipe that was created by one of my culinary legends, heroes. His name is Jacques Pépin. If you're not familiar with him, he's just wonderful. I have such fond memories of watching him on PBS with my brother and my mom on Saturday mornings, and he's just phenomenal. Not only is he a talented chef, but he is a wonderful teacher. Always very patient and always very clear in his instruction, and you know that there is tons and tons of experience in the words and actions behind what he is teaching. It's inspirational, it's wonderful, and I always learn something new. Jacques continues to make videos and share his wealth of culinary knowledge on Facebook videos, on YouTube as well. I'll put links down below. And to this day, I still watch them because there's always something to learn, like this recipe. This is a recipe for French toast that requires 2 ingredients, 3 if you count the butter. And Jacques shares a wonderful story about being a young chef in the 1950s. He was the breakfast chef and he was in charge of making breakfast. So speed was of the utmost importance. And so to make French toast, instead of mixing the milk and eggs and sugar or cinnamon, he used ice cream, which contains all the wonderful things we need to soak our bread in that lovely custard to make French toast. You just use ice cream. Actually, many store-bought ice creams do not contain eggs, but the ice cream that he used back in the 1950s did. But this is going to be absolutely delicious. I've never done this before. I think this is an absolute genius idea. Jacques also says that you can use other flavors of ice cream, strawberry or chocolate. Of course, it's not going to be the classic French toast in flavor, but make it your own. Today I'm going to be following Jacques' instructions and using vanilla ice cream. This is Warwick Ice Cream Moonstone Beach Vanilla. It's a local ice cream, and let's go ahead and make this. So I let my ice cream sit on the counter for a little bit, but there's no reason to do that. You could just grab it right out of the freezer and then warm this up in the microwave. So there's my ice cream. Oh my goodness, this is going to be amazing. It's probably about a third of a container of ice cream. So ordinarily for French toast, you would beat up an egg, you would add some cream or milk, a little bit of sugar, a little pinch of cinnamon, but now we've got this all in one step. Next, I'm just using a slice of white sandwich bread. Put that right there and give this a flipsy wah-wah. This is brilliant. I've got a nonstick pan heating up on my burner. It's on very low heat. Now I'm gonna add a pat of butter to that. This is gonna be so good. I even remember the series that Jacques did with his daughter Claudine on PBS, which was wonderful because Jacques was teaching Claudine along with teaching us. But my favorite Jacques Pépin series was when he cooked with Julia Child. They had such a wonderful banter. They were so funny. They both had such deep knowledge of cooking and they were just so funny together. That was my favorite series, hands down, Jacques and Julia. Alrighty, so now my butter is melted and I'm going to just fry my bread right in there. Now we don't want the heat to be too hot because we don't want to burn the butter. Do you love French toast? I love French toast. We used to live near a bakery and almost daily we would go down and grab freshly baked bread. Our favorite was a baguette. And inevitably we'd have a little bit of bread left over, so that meant the next day we would breathe new life into it by making French toast. So good. It's smelling lovely. All that vanilla's coming through and the butter. I think my flame just went out. All right, that means I need a new canister of fuel. La. So we'll put that in there, close that here, and let there be more fuel because we need French toast. Alrighty, let's give this a flip. Ready for this? I mean, come on. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Ah, Jacques knows. Jacques knows. Since there's some leftover ice cream on this plate, he says you can just serve it right onto this plate. It becomes your sauce. But I don't know about you, but I need some maple syrup with mine, so definitely gonna do that. This is maple syrup from Connecticut. Oh, love maple syrup. This, of course, is made from the sap of sugar maples. I believe Jacques lives in Connecticut. I follow Jacques Pépin on Instagram, and I just learned recently that his wife passed, and so sorry for her loss. But she was a valiant and faithful and wonderful stalwart companion of Jacques Pépin, and my condolences to him and his family for her loss. Okay, right on to the plate here of goodness. That looks amazing. Oh my, 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 my. Alrighty, let's go ahead and give this plate of deliciousness a taste. I went ahead and added a little pat of butter on top, just, you know, for a little extra decadence. Look, the ice cream is coming up through the top. Oh man, okay, here we go. Look what the ice cream did on the side here. Look at that. To Jacques, itadakimasu. So delicious. Since this is made with ice cream, it is so rich and custardy and delicious. The texture of the bread inside is lovely. It gets nice and soft and kind of puddingy because it's absorbed all of that ice cream. And then you've got that maple syrup in there, which is sweet and nutty and just fantastic. And then you get a little bit of almost kind of like a taffy or candy texture from the caramelization that happens when we saute this in the pan with the butter. This reminds me a lot of pudding chômeur, which is a French-Canadian recipe I did recently in my Hard Time series. It was the unemployed person's pudding. Very, very similar in terms of flavor and texture. This, of course, takes a fraction of the amount of time to make, and it is so stinking good. 100 million% make this. Absolutely scrumdiddlyumptious, takes absolutely no time to make whatsoever. And did I mention that it's delicious? It's delicious. And big thanks, of course, to Jacques Pépin for sharing this recipe, for just being a culinary legend, and for being so generous with his knowledge and his time. Alrighty, my lovelies, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye. Coffee? Excuse me, 1 cup of coffee, please.